Hi, hello everyone. This is Duke CT with Nathan.Payson. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. I am tired, but I'm surviving.
That's all we can do. So, this DC, yes, it's a nice little DCU podcast. We don't even have a name for it yet, so well, but hey, um, anyway, let's see what type of comic books and such have you been reading on, like, say, the DC universe. What type of stuff have you been reading lately? Me, I've been reading the Saga of Swamp Thing since the TV show has been up, and I've been enjoying Alan Moore's takes of it. It's been a very, I honestly think it's probably one of the most interesting comics stuff that I've seen in a good long while. You know,
I've only read the first part, but the first issue. But I really
Hmm.
liked the first issue, and I felt like it encapsulated a lot of what I think the run is of this like sense of finding humanity and not being human. And I think that's a really cool look.
Yeah, and that is the to me is that's the really the interesting part of Swamp Thing is how do you find yourself trying to get back your humanity while trying to trying to fight off these threats and such. It's these type of stories that really make you wonder. It is an interesting type of way of how what is humanity, how these when people think of Swamp Thing and seeing how he just just a way to connect with this just type of creature and seeing how so much of an empathical creature, this type of thing, the thing is Swamp Thing, and then everything else, how he's connected to the green, the forest, the trees, and everything else in the DCEU and or whatever you want to call it, the DC universe, and how he makes choices to help save not only the green but also
Hmm.
humans, and how he treats how he treats and looks upon himself like, hey, how he pretty much relates to the common man, even though he is,
A literal
you know,
swamp monster.
yeah, it's
Hmm.
it's Frankenstein's monster with it's Frankenstein's monster, but also with all the crazy stuff that has been with the Swamp Thing, and see how all that thing is, and how just how he weighs in, and how he becomes this type of you know this type of iconic, some would say, but sometimes some would say it's more of a a fixture of these, like the weird and wacky stuff of the DC universe.
Uh, in kind of in comparison, we were talking about humanity. I've just read Tom King's Mr. Miracle.
Hmm.
It is really good, and it messes a lot with reality of the situation in a really cool way. In that there's a bunch of times where the art sort of blurs, and it gives you that eerie effect of is this really happening? And Mitch Gerads is the artist, and he's phenomenal at creating the sense of what's going on. And it's really cool seeing the humanity of like Scott King, or no, of Scott Free as he tries to uh, make a like survive and have a family, and the reality of that with the new god's craziness that exists in the world. And so that's been
Hmm.
really fun.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
trying to be normal in a world that is not really normal. Trying to go for the traditional type of things, being married, having a good life, and trying to, but at the end of the day, it's just you just feel like you can't do it. You just like, mm,
oh, absolutely. And it just the ending was like kind of unsatisfying, but it felt like a good ending. Like I wish there was more to it and I got all the answers I wanted, but life doesn't give you answers. And it was really interesting because the thing that Scott Free wants to escape, right? He's a master escape artist, but he can't escape his problems. We can't escape our mental health problems. and the challenges in front of us. We can literally escape stuff, but we can't mentally escape it. And so that was really fun. In comparison, I just watched in watching wise, where I'm just jumping ahead because this is just designed to be quick. Krypton. I was just watching Krypton season 3, or no, episode 3 of season 2. Have you seen Krypton?
Oh yes, I watched the first season. There were some slow parts, but I didn't. I was like, it's okay, but I just didn't, but till the ending. I think the ending really nailed it. I haven't saw episode 2. I didn't see episode the second season yet. But
they're free on Sci-Fi right now. You just gotta stick through commercials, and
I'm okay.
It's even better.
Yeah, because I always watched it. It was good and it went slow, but overall, I did enjoy watching Krypton. It's really good.
What I appreciate about Krypton is its serialization. Like, it feels like it's telling a long story over 10 plus, episodes. And each hour is great. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing anything, and it makes sure everyone's covered. Like, there's like 20 billion plot threads going on in kind of a Game of Thrones way, but it's all really well done. So even if characters don't really move that far forward, they move forward enough that you don't mind that they didn't move super far forward. And the Lobo plot just finished, which is where it's a good moment to, if you want to watch, I would watch 1, 2, and 3. They're sort of the conclusion of an arc, which is a really good arc with Lobo and Brainiac, and they're mixing up, and it's phenomenal. Everyone should go watch it. Honestly, like, this season might be the best superhero show on air right now. Because we don't know, not counting Doom Patrol, because Doom Patrol isn't on air right now. It's in waters of, is it canceled? Is it not? I think it's been renewed and they just don't want to say it.
Yeah, I don't think it's just like they're waiting until I think they're just going to wait until all this stuff with the water TV stuff to really calm down, and then bam.
I think they're announcing it at Comic-Con.
Well, we talked about this earlier and such, but until that day, we're gonna have to, until we gotta play it by ear. You know?
Yeah.
It's only a couple weeks away. So,
what have you been watching? Have you watched any superhero stuff lately?
Other than see Swamp Thing, and I also other than Swamp Thing, I've been pretty busy. Personal stuff, because a lot of personal stuff been happening. But also, the one thing I actually watched on something that I think people seem to forget is this TV series, Static Shock. I honestly think that TV series is one of the most, it looked, I mean, we finally saw a character that, really a young black teenage character that, had a, well, one of the parents were dead, but, it's just like, they still had a structured family home, and still doing good. I saw this when it first ran, like back in the 90s, and loving the fact that it is on, on DC Universe and such. It's nice to see a show like this, and all 4 seasons of it. I wish that a show like this was around today. I mean, I know Static is a part of Young Justice, which is doing having another season, but I just think I would love to see more of more shows that had like these superheroes that are in their own world and such. I would love to see another, more shows that had like, these single heroes. I can't engaging, but
Have you seen Black Lightning?
Yeah, I have watched it. I'm off and on with it, and there's some stuff I liked about it. Some stuff I feel it's, a little bit too disconnected. But I think the story on the show needs to be that disconnected, because the story they're telling is more emotional and more of a personal battle with Freeland, and how to do all these other things. And now, hopefully, in season 3, maybe they'll move on from the the same thing with gangsters and everything else. I would like to see more black characters take on other crazy, wacky stuff. Stuff. I'm not saying asking like they face stuff like something in the Doom Patrol or something like that, but I think other things in criminal, saying gangbangers and such like that. But I just like something like outer space threats, that sort of thing.
I'm about halfway through season 2. I'm also on and on with it. It's on Netflix even because it's such a depressing show. Like I love it for its depressingness, but I can't binge it, because it's just very hard to watch. And I love that because its characters are so great, and every moment is exactly what the community deserves, and what society deserves. Like it's very to the facts. Like this is how it is. Very frank. It doesn't whitewash anything, and it is a great family drama on top of it. The problem I have with it is that it's so much that like I can't watch an episode a week is about as much as I can take. And when you waited till it comes on Netflix, it's like, well, I don't want to watch another episode because it's late at night, and it's like this isn't in caps. Like it engrosses me for the hour, and then I'm like, I need a break from it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that. I think because sometimes the show seems to just go and like it's the same problem with most CW shows. A lot of stupidity, a lot of things could been like could be handled in a minute if they sat down and talk with each other instead of all these secrets and everything else. Talk to the people you have, talk to your family, do all this type of stuff. Talk to the people who can help you with it instead of you having secrets. And it just seems like, well, we have to have this thing continue for an hour and such. And that's why I like those shows here on the like in the DC universe when I watch. It's nice to see like the characters actually somewhat smarter and not saying, hey, maybe this stuff is secret. Maybe I should go and talk to someone. Maybe I can talk about this situation and such like that.
Well, what's interesting is Black Lightning season 2. At least I don't know how far you've seen how much you've seen of Black Lightning,
I
but
saw like 50% of it, including the ending.
So have you finished season 1 or are you on season 2?
I watched all season 1. I've watched most of season 2. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but yeah.
But I feel like everyone in season 2 at least is more open to each other. Like there are secrets, but it's not the same extent. And like you have things like Henderson. Spoiler, but Henderson being knowing who Black Lightning is, and the entire family
I know
knows
about
everything
that
that's
stuff.
going on between them. Like there are a couple secrets, but it's mostly there, and so I feel like no one's really hiding anything, and they're going to people for help. It's just, and that's why it's such an endearing family drama is that they're open to each other.
Well, better than say the Flash, where everyone is holding the idiot ball most times. It's the Arrow, and I can't wait for that to happen in Batwoman too. I mean, you thought the trailer was bad, just can't wait to have like Batwoman looking completely clueless for 80% of the time. It's like, oh wait, I can do this.
Wait, did you not like? You didn't like the Batwoman trailer?
It's a little too. It looks way too. I mean, I'm not saying that the stuff like. I mean, I'm spoiled again. Like, look at the DC universe and seeing how those shows, like the writing and the character, it just felt like, wow, they have a lot of work to do.
Well, I'll say this: I have a lot of friends who aren't superhero fans, who are in the LGBTQ community, and they're all like obsessed, and they're all really excited for it. Because Ruby Rose is one of those actors who has such a following in the LGBTQ community, and so it was really interesting to see a bunch of my friends really gravitate towards the trailer and follow and say they really liked it. I'm excited for it. I think the trailer did what it needed to do and just set like a tone for the
I
show,
think
and
it
it's not
should.
going to be an episode, right? Like everyone's going to have to watch the episode and decide the first episode and decide for themselves what Batwoman is and what they think of it. But I definitely think, and it's also important to realize that the trailer was literally just the pilot, You know, like
Yeah.
I guarantee there was not a single bit of footage outside of the pilot because they had already filmed the pilot to get the show renewed. But I really liked Batwoman's trailer. It just got me excited for it in a lot of ways, and I think Batwoman's the right sort of story to tell. As the CW starts to get tired, I think it's time for a new CW show in the superhero, and I think Batwoman's the right show.
I hope so, because I don't want this to have like, oh my gosh, it's great, it looks nice, but it's great for the LGBT audience, and hey, I hope they enjoyed the show. But I'm like, man, it can be, if it just, I hope it can, show, like, be like a bit like Supergirl, to actually have everyone come on in the show and everything to watch it, because it's nice to have representation, but you want to make sure everyone can sit back and enjoy the show. They say, hey,
Yeah,
you know what, this character is something I can relate to, or something, something like that, and hopefully that can be. But I am worried about the dialogue, and I'm worried. I hope, because again, pilots can change, and besides, you know what, a lot of people say, oh, the first seasons can be garbage and everything. I'm like, but you know what? There are shows they can come back with better second seasons, like hopefully like Titans, or the best example of this is, well, Star Trek: The Next Generation. First two seasons are not that good. Third season got better, than the fourth season, fifth and sixth. How that story ends.
I
You know,
think Supergirl's fourth season is its best season by far. For
mm,
example, I mean, not everyone agrees. I know
uh,
people who think it was the worst. I loved it with a burning passion.
mm,
Did
yeah,
you see it?
I've watched it, but it wasn't for me. I just couldn't even stop.
Did you get through the Lex Luthor stuff?
I like the Lex Luthor stuff. I watched some of it, but I just didn't. I like the Leonard Luthor stuff. I like that friendship, but overall, I was just getting a little too tired of the same stuff. I felt like the characters were getting stupider and dumber, to the point I'm just like, yeah, I can't watch this show anymore. I think it was around season 3. I just stopped.
So I would go back and I would start with season 4 and just
Mhm.
trudge forward because season 4 is by far the best show.
Was that
And
the one with the superpower women who are like destructors and such like that?
no, season that's season 3 with the rain, pestilence, and purity. Season 4 is about Agent Liberty, and it takes a look. Do you remember when they had the whole stuff with the Alien Amnesty Act and like the race, and they like look at racism and immigration?
Yeah, I'll try to watch season 4 then.
So
Uh,
season 4 takes that and blows it up into a bigger proportion. And at the end of all of that, and this is why people are so obsessed with season 4, is because you get to about episode 14, and it turns out that Lex Luthor's been pulling the strings of the entire season. I would call this a spoiler, but it's not super noticeable until you get there, and then they show how. And all of the plots
Like
sort of
it was like
come
it was me
together.
the entire time. He's like, wait, all of it? Which sometimes I know Lex Luthor is that type of manipulative and all that stuff, but sometimes, it can get to be ridiculous, and hopefully they explain it well.
It's the best handling of Lex Luthor ever.
Mm.
So I
Uh,
think so. So I think you'll
Compared
like
to
it a
the
lot.
recent stuff with Lex Luthor, with Batman v Superman, well, you can always
Oh,
go
way
up.
better than Batman v Superman. Think
Oh,
like think like a return to Superman 1, but better.
well, I'll check it out then.
So, and I would definitely, because I think season 3 falls apart towards the end, especially. I really like, what's her name? Ruby and who's the mom in season 3? But the couple, the mom and the daughter. But I really like them. But I didn't love the Rain story as much.
Mm.
But but I felt like the Rain was still compelling. But I think with this season, like with season 4, there's no real villain. Like there's people who lead the movement, like who lead the racism. But it's sort of the realization that you can't just punch the leader into submission and squash all the racism and hate, you know.
It
And
has to
so
be
it's
from within. That's the thing.
and so it's
So yeah,
fantastic. So, but I loved it. I'm gonna start wrapping up in a second because I think this is a good demo. look. And so we'll probably move on. I want to give a quick shout out, though, in our Discord chat. Mel has just said the following. Finished up Gotham Academy. It was a great series. Sad to see it go. I love maps so much. Next on my list is Impulse. I've never read Bart's solo series, but he's been a fave of mine for a long time in both the cartoon and the original Young Justice comics by Peter David. Have
You know what
you
the
have you
sad part
did you
is,
read
Peter
Gotham
David?
Academy?
No, the sad thing about Peter David is that he never gets a full run of his shows. They always end too quickly. It's a shame. It's a weird thing. His shows are always good, but the people don't watch it till it's too late.
What
That sort
shows
of
has
thing.
Peter
Yeah.
David written?
I think let me look. I think it was we gotta look and see. I think it was Gargoyles for one. The gosh, because I believe he let's see. He worked on let's see
Babylon
what
5,
yeah, I worked on Babylon 5. Let's see. I gotta look and see what type of stuff he's
Space
worked on.
Cases, Ben 10 Alien Force, Ben 10
Oh
Ultimate
yeah.
Alien. Ben
Yeah,
10's
but
actually pretty good. He wrote several
oh
episodes for
yeah.
Young Justice.
Mm. But yeah, it's but yeah, it's weird that he never really I think he worked with Space Cases. We got only 2 seasons.
Yeah,
But I wasn't oh gosh, I think I'm thought about something else. I think let me see.
yeah, might be a different person. That being
I'm
said,
sorry.
I
Hopefully
really
Peter
like
David
his
is
work.
not
I think he has a great grasp with some of the younger characters.
I think he has a good work. He knows how to connect with the audience and such.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think any like the fact that he wrote Young Justice, I mean, it's so good. Like, is like such worthy of note because we're getting the whole TV show, which is back with part 2 of season 3. Phenomenal
It's
once
back,
again.
and I was thinking of Greg Weisman. Now that's
Got it.
dude.
Got it. Got it.
Oh man, it's a shame, dude. Never, he never really gets any type of. Every time the show gets, a little bit popularity, it just gets like, gets like boom. But you know what? I think he's working on Young Justice right now, so he hopefully he can and also did a voice work too. But my hope is that more people can look at these works and say, hey, this is actually pretty cool. And I haven't read most of the comics yet. I've been busy with other stuff, but hopefully I will have a chance to look at all the other comics and
For
put them
those who
out
are
soon.
for those who are curious, as he wrote Star Wars Rebels, most recently Star Wars Rebels, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV shows, Shimmer and Shine, Transformers Rescue Bots, Transformers Prime, and he's writing Young Justice right now. And he's actually playing Lucas Carr and Ultra Humanite. And he actually voiced those 2 characters in Young Justice. Fun fact.
Oh yeah, Greg Wiseman. Yeah.
What was really interesting is I was watching Young Justice today. Have you seen the new episodes?
Not yet. I will
Okay,
be
so I
watching
won't
soon.
spoil them, but because they're great, they're phenomenal with some great reveals. But there's this moment. I'm gonna spoil just this one little part. Guy Gardner gets his he gets his first real appearance in Young Justice, which is so exciting. I love it. But the voice actor is the same person who plays Geoforce, who's the Prince of Markovia. And it was like my mind was like blown. Like 'cause it's like these actors create such different characters and personalities and voices, and
That's
can play like
why.
3 different characters. It's
That's why I
ridiculous,
respect voice actors and really get to the craft and such. And
especially for
just
TV shows because they don't hire everyone to do like a person for each voice, right? Like I've like there's the show. I want to say it's How to Train Your Dragon, where no, it's where I don't think it is. There's this one show where the same where like the entire cast is like 4 different voice actors only, and you're just like, how do you do this? It's
well, again,
crazy.
it's talent and people, and that's why I really wish voice actors can get more love and such, especially in like movies about animation. In fact, that's why I always like say Teen Titans Go to the movies, is that they kept the original Teen Titans Go cast and let them be the main characters instead of having, oh, let's just put some random actors in there and such. I give them a little bit of love. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm
So
gonna
yeah.
wrap it off here. Thank you so much. In the future, we would add an extra segment, which would be talking about the watch-along shows. For the record, I am behind on Swamp Thing. I have not seen episode 4 and 5.
Well, your homework assignment.
I know. I'm on summer vacation, so I have no excuse. And I really like the episodes 1, 2, and 3, but it's the same sort of it's the same problem I have with Black Lightning in that it's a lot, to take in at once, especially with being an hour long. Like, it's a full hour, which makes it a little more intimidating to start. Instead of like the 52 minutes, it's like exactly an hour, and a lot happens. And it's also not the type of genre I'm a big fan of. I'm not a horror person, but I'm liking the show. I think it's well written. Also, save Swamp Thing. Anyway, that concludes our podcast for the day. We still have to come up with a name for this thing. Let's do it.
Something later on.
Let's do that later. But anyway, thank you so much for coming on for a beta run. This was fun. Yeah, I've already figured out most of what needs to how the recording thing works ahead of time. But I wanted to do a trial run with someone else so I can make sure everything's good. So thanks for coming on.
What is that recording Oracle thing? Is that I gotta find out what that is so I can do that because I'm trying to move on from
Greg. It's like a Greg bot or something.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you later. All right.
Bye.
Bye.